Okay, here's another game for you. I am white once again on this, just randomly. I moved to e4, start off. He moved e5. I attacked with my knight. He defended with his knight. I wanted to get my bishop out of there before I make the pawn move to d3. I don't like blocking it in. Plus now I have the ability to castle whenever I'm ready. He moved a pawn. Again, I went ahead and I blocked that b4 square so that his knight and his dark bishop can't come down to that. Went ahead and castle. I saw the dark knight coming over to the f2 pawn, and figured I would just protect it. He's now attacking my d4 pawn. I defend my d4 pawn. And he moves the h pawn down. So I go ahead at this point, I move that d pawn up to d3. He castles, and I just continue developing my pieces. I bring my dark bishop up and chase his dark bishop back a little bit. I was hoping he would take it, and then I would use my f2 pawn to recapture, and I would open up the rook on the f file, but he didn't. So I went ahead and I developed my queen off the back row. And at this point, I'm thinking of just being risky, so I go ahead and I attack and I capture the h pawn. And he takes my bishop, and then I come in with my queen. So I don't have as many pieces coordinating as I would like to, but I figured I'd be able to wean my way through this. So he protects with the knight. I come in with my knight. Bishop comes down. I go ahead and I'm trying to work additional pieces in to help me with the mate. He takes my knight. I recapture with the bishop. I'm attacking his f7 pawn, and he can't move it, which may come in handy, if I'm able to move the knight. I was looking at moving the knight to the g6 square. Queen comes down, so this makes me a little unhappy. Kind of takes away a lot of the moves that I was planning on doing. So I just try to get out of the way. And sensing he's in trouble, he insists on a queen exchange, so I have no option but to take it. So I go ahead and swap queens with him at that point. Develop my knight. He pulls his knight back. And at this point, I need to get some more pieces involved in the attack. I can't move the f pawn up because he's got the bishop, the dark bishop up in the corner. So I move the king over. Now kicking the pawn up, just trying to get out of it. I go ahead and hit him with the check when he tries to attack and swap for my knight. If all I do is swap a bunch of pieces, then I won't have enough to continue the attack. The king comes down. I go ahead and retreat on the knight, and he's aiming for my light square bishop. I don't want to lose him, so I go ahead and I back him up. Now, I was thinking at this point, when I went to go move this pawn, that I would have the g6 square protected, and if I was able to swing the rook over to the h file and then put the knight back there, I could get him in a checkmate. So that's why I went ahead. I didn't want him to have an escape route, which is basically why I moved that pawn up versus capturing. Move the rook up. I'm ready to swing it over. He blocks my bishop, which takes away one of my attacking pieces. But that's okay. Just continue on with the attack. I got another rook I can get over if I need to. So I bring the rook over, and the king goes off into the corner, the only corner he has. And now I don't want him to get away. So I put my rook up there to attack him and to prevent him from escaping on the f7 square. He's forced to go back into the line of check. Typically, this would be a great place, for the knight to kind of go back and forth and start munching up pieces. But in this case, there's really nothing I can do with this. I need additional pieces to help. So I go ahead and I get my second rook on its way over, and this is when he makes a blunder. So he moves the knight, essentially blocking in his king, and really all I'd have to do is just move the knight out of the way, um, and he would be checked, and I move over here, so I'm putting a double check before he had the ability to start moving these knights out, and I would have eaten up a couple knights, and maybe he could have escaped. But this seals the deal with a check from the knight and a check from the rook, and that's checkmate.